What's good, everybody? Hey, welcome to the stream, man. I appreciate you guys coming in today. And yeah, man, it feels good to be back. We already got a chat. Ecom dynamics, man. What's good, man? Make sure the people can see the chat, man. I missed you guys, man, with the regular schedule, the regular content. And we're back, man. We are back from Mexico. We just had a hell of a trip in Merida, Mexico, and Playa del Carmen, Mexico, as well. And we did a lot of IRL streams each and every day, besides one day when I was super sick. But we are back, man. We are back on a regular program, regular schedule. And I hope you guys enjoyed all of the IRL content over the past week over in Mexico. It was extremely difficult to bring it to you guys, but we made sure that we provided you guys with the highest quality content and also the best content as well overall. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. And that's going to be the norm moving forward when I do travel, is that you guys are going to get a lot of IRL content. And I promise you that, because I enjoy the IRL content, meeting random people at a cafe, interviewing my homeboy from Flint, Michigan, who is a software engineer out in Playa del Carmen. He started from zero, didn't even go to college for computer engineering or software engineering at all. Started from ground zero, working for an airline, and went from working at an airline over to a software engineer, and now he has a remote job living in Mexico. Crazy story that he had. So if you guys missed out on that, make sure you go ahead and watch that video. Or if you prefer to listen to the content instead, we do have a podcast as well. And the podcast link is in the description box below. So make sure you go listen to it and then follow the podcast as well and show your support in that fashion as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. And I miss doing the news with y'all, man, because we're so busy nowadays, man. We're working 8 hours a day. We're going to the gym. We're doing X, Y, and Z, hanging out with friends. And we don't really get a good sense of what's actually going on in the travel space. And I love to do the news every single Tuesday to kind of give you guys a little snapshot of what's going on in the travel space. So as usual, we're going to start off with the travel advisories that have changed over the past week. So let's take a look. So the two most important ones, in my opinion, well, France is cooked. Level 2, exercise increased caution. The two I wanted to focus on, especially Jamaica. Jamaica is the one I want to really focus on, because that is extremely important to the travel industry, and including, of course, airplane travel, but and most importantly, ship travel or cruise travel to Jamaica is a huge industry. And for them to raise the level from 1 to 2 is a big deal. And we'll dig into why that happened in a moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at Brazil. And of course, we know we love Brazil. However, we know that Brazil isn't the safest country to visit, especially the major cities. So let's find out why. So updated to add risk indicator for kidnapping. Exercise increased caution in Brazil due to crime and kidnapping. So we all knew that, right? But we don't need the state website or the government to tell us that it's dangerous to travel to Brazil. We know this inherently. We just know if you are a traveler at all. But this is for the people that don't know, right? Like, not everyone knows. This is why this exists. So some areas have increased risk. Read the entire travel advisory. Do not travel to these areas due to crime. Anywhere within 100 miles of Brazil's land borders with Bolivia, Colombia, Guyana, French Guiana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, and Venezuela. So pretty much every country that borders Brazil. The restriction does not apply to the Foz del Iguacu National Park or Pantanal National Park. So yeah, so those two national parks are safe to go. Informal housing developments such as favelas, villas, comunidades, or conglomerados at any time. Brazilia's satellite cities at night. This includes Ceilândia, Santa Maria, São Sebastião, and Parano. I don't, man, bro, I butchered all of that. That's fine. Okay, so we're just gonna read the summary and then we'll jump over to Jamaica. Violent. So this is the country summary. So violent crime, including ooh, deletion, armed robbery, and carjacking can occur in urban areas day and night. Sound like the Kid Cudi song. There was a kidnapping for ransom of U.S. travelers. Gang activity and organized crime are widespread and often tied to recreational drug trade. Assaults, including with sedatives and with sedatives, so like scope and drugs placed in drinks are common. Yep, that's scope, especially in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, y'all gotta be careful with that, man. Even in Colombia too. Brazil is not excluded as well. So just be aware. Criminals target foreigners through dating apps or at bars before drugging and robbing their victims. U.S. government employees are advised not to use municipal buses in Brazil because of a serious risk of robbery and assault, especially at night. So, a way to kind of alleviate or reduce or mitigate these types of attacks on yourself if you are traveling to Brazil, especially Rio de Janeiro, and I've been there. You guys have seen the Brazil series. Shameless plug. I had a playlist on the channel. And the best way to do this, man, is to not go on the dating apps. And if you do go on the dating apps, I literally showed you I literally showed you like how to vet a woman that you are trying to date seriously abroad, right? I tell you to when you match with someone on the dating app, make sure you check out their Instagram, vet their social media. And if they don't have social media, don't even continue the conversation. End it right there. And if they do have a social media and it checks out, they're like a normal person with a normal job, they're pretty much a go. And you can go on like the first date and hang out with them. But if they refuse or they don't have social media, end the conversation right then and there, block, unmatch. It's a wrap. Okay. And as far as, let's see, getting drugged, oh boy, just don't drink alcohol. Sadly enough, man, if or pregame before you go to the bar. And then when you get to the bar, don't drink alcohol. Just ask for like bottled water so you can have an actual like cap to close on the bottled water. And then when you leave the bar, you can, go somewhere else and drink whatever you want. But when you go to these bars, make sure you have a drink or a beverage that you can close it up again. It's closable. That's how you save yourself from being drugged out in Rio. You can use this same tip for Colombia as well. And I've heard people getting drugged in Ecuador as well because the Colombians are going to Ecuador. So that is Brazil, man. So Brazil went from a level 1 to a level 2, but I think they just updated it to include kidnapping. So that's the new ad on there. We got a chat from Cold Pink Cosmetics. Are you on the Star Report? No, I've never heard of that. What is that? What is the Star Report? Okay, so now let's move on to Jamaica. Jamaica went from a level 1 to a level 2.
Bomba.
Uh-oh. Let's find out why. This was reissued after periodic review with a change in level. Some areas have increased risk. Consider crime and limited medical services. Read the entire travel advisory. Do not travel to high crime areas described in detail below. Country summary. While violent crime in Jamaica has decreased since 2024, it remains statistically high throughout the country. Tourist areas generally see lower rates of violent crime than other parts of the country. The deletion rate reported by the government of Jamaica is among the highest in the Western Hemisphere.
Bomba.
Armed robberies and assaults are common. Holy. And SA is crazy. U.S. Embassy employees are prohibited from using public buses and from driving between cities at night. Holy. So victims of crime. The U.S. Embassy routinely receives reports of SA, including from U.S. citizen tourists at resorts. Bro, you're not even safe at resorts? It's crazy. You would think you're safe at a resort, right? You're at an all-inclusive resort. It's gated. It's safe. and then you get SA'd. That's crazy. U.S. citizens report slow or unsatisfactory response to serious criminal incidents. When arrests are made, cases are infrequently prosecuted to a final verdict and sentence. Holy, this is crazy. I didn't know Jamaica was like this, bro. Jamaica's a beautiful country, don't get me wrong. Wonderful people, terrific food, awesome music, and a lot of history, but jeez, bro, like this is making me double like really think about going elsewhere. I was honestly planning to go with a buddy of mine who is Jamaican, but I may have to rethink my travel plans. All right, let's take a look at this really quickly, and then there's a video attached to this as well, and then we'll move on to the other subjects for this live stream. So, medical care. U.S. citizens should not expect the same level of health care available in Jamaica as is available in the United States. This includes slower emergency service response time and less availability of care for illness or injury. Private hospitals require pay up front. Oh, wow. That's going to be a shocker for a lot of people coming from the US. Private hospitals require pay up front before admitting patients and may not have the ability to provide specialized care. So even if you pay a private hospital to be checked out, they still may not be able to provide any specialized care for you. Ambulance services are not always staffed with EMTs. What? And are not always readily available, especially in rural areas. That's expected. U.S. citizens should bring extra prescription medication as common medications, such as insulin, can be difficult to obtain. We highly recommend that you buy travel insurance before you travel. I use Safety Wing when I travel to other countries outside of Mexico and the U.S. or outside of North America. I do use Safety Wing. I'm not sponsored, but if somebody from Safety Wing is watching this video, shoot your boy an email, man. I would love to be sponsored by you guys. Check with your travel insurance provider about evacuation assistance, medical insurance, and trip cancellation coverage. The Department of State does not pay medical bills.
Bruh.
Yeah, so if you guys are traveling to countries like Jamaica, you may want to also check if you have a travel credit card as well. They do have some type of medical benefit. You may want to read the terms and conditions of that as well if you don't want to purchase a policy with the likes of Safety Wing, right? So U.S. Medicare, Medicaid does not apply overseas. We know that for sure. Air ambulance service to the U.S. can range from 30 to 50K.
Bombakat.
Holy. All right. That's crazy, bro. So even after reading all of this, bro, if you decide to travel to Jamaica, do not attempt to bring firearms or ammunition. Duh. This includes stray rounds, shells, or empty casings. The penalties for carrying firearms or ammunition, even by mistake, are severe and can include long prison sentences. Avoid walking or driving at night. Avoid avoid remote places. Avoid public buses. Do not physically resist any robbery attempt. Damn. Be aware of your surroundings and keep a low profile. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, and you can get, alerts and stuff like that. And holy, that's a lot, bro. I didn't know Jamaica was like this, bro. That's why you got to go with a local, man. If you stay with a local Jamaican, you go with a local Jamaican, I think you'll be straight, bro. I think you'll be straight. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So these are the areas to stay away from, guys. St. Anne's Parish, St. Catherine's Parish, Clarendon Parish, St. Elizabeth's Parish, Hanover Parish, St. James Parish, Montego Bay. That's a huge place for ships to go as well. Kingston and St. Andrew Parish, Manchester Parish, St. Thomas Parish, Trelawney Parish, Westmoreland Parish. Guys, didn't know Jamaica was like this, but make sure that if you happen to want to go there, make sure that you go with somebody that is from there, born and raised, got a family there, bro. And just be careful. Be careful going to Brazil and Jamaica. So here is the video that is a compliment to that website, and we're gonna just take a look at it. It's only a couple 30 seconds. Y'all got 30 seconds, right? Let's take it out.
Encouraging news if you're taking a trip to Jamaica. The U.S. is easing its overall travel warning for the most popular tourist destination. The risk level has now been lowered to a level 2, and that means exercise increased
Didn't know it was lowered. Wow.
caution. However, travelers are still being told do not travel to specific communities across the country of Jamaica because of ongoing safety concerns. Resort areas generally see lower levels of crime, but
Right.
U.S. Embassy officials are still getting reports of sexual assaults involving American tourists, including incidents at all-inclusive resorts.
Bruh, crazy, crazy. Jamaica is safe overall, bro. I would say, but you just got to not stand out like a sore thumb. Don't wear flashy jewelry. Don't flaunt money. Just go there, live like a local, and potentially just go with someone that is from there or has family there, and you'll be straight, bro. This is just like visiting the hood, bro. You're not gonna go to the hood with a whole bunch of money out, just flipping and counting money with a big chain and super loud. You're gonna go to the hood super low key. Just do that. Follow the rules, bro. But I love Jamaica, bro.
Bomba.
All right, let's move on to the next thing here. And it's regarding I guess the plunge in tourists visiting certain major cities, especially the city that I actually live in right now, which is Las Vegas. And I have noticed that there ain't nobody here, bro. I kind of like it because I can pretty much go anywhere. I can go to like the club or what have you, and ain't nobody there. And I can kick it. So let's find out why, man. I'm very curious.
Las Vegas may still dazzle, but for many visitors, that sparkle now comes at a steeper price, from soaring hotel rates to $9 coffees. Inflation is hitting hard, and
Bro, $9 coffees?
fewer tourists are traveling to the famous destination. In tonight's In Depth, CBS's Andres Gutierrez takes us to the Las Vegas Strip.
Crazy. $9, bro.
The Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign is usually the first stop for millions of tourists. The line for that photo is noticeably shorter this spring, and Sin City visitors are paying more.
We were here last year, almost exactly the same time, and it was probably 20% more this year.
Even the little luxuries sting.
$9 for a coffee. Like in the UK, that's what, like we pay £4, £5 for a coffee. So yeah, crazy.
Those higher prices haven't stopped convention traffic, but casual trips are down. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority says 3.39 million people came to town in March, down 7.8% from the same time last year. April saw a 5.1% drop. Hotel occupancy also slipped as the average nightly rate on the Strip reached $203 in April.
I think what's driving that largely now is just a drop in consumer confidence.
Another
Nah, that's cap, bro. It's because everything is so freaking expensive for tourists in this city, bro. Even for locals, we hate it. We hate going to the Strip, bro. They are just now reintroducing free parking at one casino property on the Strip. Shout out to Resorts World, bro. Everywhere else, they charge for parking, even for locals, past like 3 hours. Bring back all the stuff that we remember from Vegas, right? Affordable prices, free parking, and I promise you that's going to reinvigorate the entire city and the tourists, bro. People, it's hard out here for Americans, man. People are literally one paycheck or less away from being bankrupt. They cannot cover a $1,000 expense, and you are charging $9 for a freaking coffee.
Bomba.
And it's crazy to me, man. It's super crazy to me that they're like, oh, it's just a lower of consumer confidence. No, bro. It's because y'all greedy asses at these casinos, you guys want to keep charging more and more and more resort fees, charging for parking, and an increase in overall nightly rates for hotels, and the food is super expensive, and they complain about decreased consumer confidence. Is freaking ridiculous, bro. I'm sorry for the rant, but I live here, bro, and I've experienced all of the things that are being discussed in this video as far as prices just going up and everything just being super expensive. I don't want to go out, bro. I would rather stay at home, stream on YouTube, and have fun with y'all. I don't want to even go out anymore. I don't even drink alcohol, bro. Screw this. This is crazy.
Sore spot, fewer international visitors, the ones who stay longer and spend more.
And so when we lose them, we're losing a very valuable customer.
Tourists who do roll the dice here hit traffic. Months of construction and road closures for special events can turn a 10-minute ride into a crawl.
We've had so many customers say, we're never coming back to this city. You can't get anywhere.
Will and Donna Tryon operate adventure photo tours. They say
facts.
higher fuel and insurance costs leave little room to cut prices. Some tours priced at $75 before COVID now cost $109.
The economy, the money, they don't have the money to spend, and the fact that Las Vegas is no longer a bargain vacation.
Even so, plenty of visitors are shelling out for the hot tickets, like Dead & Company's trippy light show inside the Sphere.
That is kind of cool.
And Beyonce coming to Allegiant Stadium this summer.
It's like you can go for the fancy experience, but then you can find a place that's pretty good price.
And with a summer calendar full of concerts, festivals, and sporting events, the city insists there is a price point for every visitor. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Stop the cap right now, bro. If you ain't got the bread, you can't stay that long here in Vegas, bro. Not anymore. It used to be a bargain, man. It used to be a bargain to come to Vegas. You can come here on a weekend, spend $100, $200 for a hotel room, and be cool with like going to dinner, spending like $30 for dinner for yourself, $60 if you got a plus one. Bro, those days are over. If you ain't coming here with at least $1,000 to spend for a weekend, you are not doing shit. You are walking the strip, bro, if you have less than $1,000 for a weekend in Vegas, man. It is not cheap anymore. It is not affordable. All right, so my bad for that long rant, bro, but that one was personal, and that's why I wanted to include that news story in there, because everything in there, the people, what they were saying were absolutely true. And whatever that dude was saying, that it had a decreased consumer confidence, that's absolute BS, bro. They know exactly what they're doing, bro. They're turning and burning new tourists that have never been to Vegas before, and now they're saying like, oh, I'll never come back to Las Vegas ever again. They're turning and burning people, and now they're running out of people to turn and burn. And those high rollers, those whales that want to come here, they have Dubai to go to. They have Macau to go to. They have much more other cities that are way better, way safer. Weather is better. Why would they come to Vegas? Nothing is affordable. It's freaking ridiculous, man. All right, let's move on to the measles, bro. And understanding, first of all, what is this? Measles, I've heard of this as a kid, bro. I don't even know what the measles are anymore. And now it's actually like stopping travel to some degree. And the CDC is issuing travel warnings. Let's find out about it, man. Let's find out.
1,024 measles outbreaks so far this year. That's compared to just 200 last year. 4 of those cases in Georgia, and many of those doctors are worried that number could rise significantly. I spoke with an infectious disease doctor who offered some insight and advice to help deal with this latest medical malady.
The important symptoms would be development of very high fever.
Okay, fever.
Development of high fever, runny nose, and rash. The rash usually starts on the face. So it would be behind the ears, around the hairline. It spreads along the face and then onto the body and the extremities. The fevers tend to start first, and then the rash develops. 13% of people in the current outbreak have had to be hospitalized. So that's a fairly significant number. Most of the folks who end up with severe complications in the ICU, needing hospital care, are of the unvaccinated cohort. 90.
Doesn't this sound like COVID again? Now they want us to get a measles vaccine. Okay.
6% of folks who became ill are unvaccinated. So that essentially just tells you how much of a risk it creates by being unvaccinated. Currently, vaccination rates in schools and kindergartens across the country are lower than they were at that time. around 2019, there was something like a 95% vaccination rate among school-age kids. Now it's closer to 92%. The population really needs a vaccination rate of about 85 to 95% to maintain herd immunity, which means that even if someone is unvaccinated, there is.
Bro, they're running the same playbook from 2020, bro. They're running the same playbook again. This is so strange. Why would they do it so quickly? We can clearly point this out. This is clearly coming out from the playbook of COVID.
Sort of protection for general populations. It's a two-part vaccine. Even if someone is unvaccinated, within 72 hours of exposure to someone with measles, they can still get the vaccine. For most folks, once they get the two-part vaccine, they have immunity for the rest of their life. I would encourage people to consider.
Oh, that's the differentiator. As soon as you get the two-part vaccine, you won't have to get it again. But I thought like everyone got like the measles vaccine when they were kids. Why is this a thing now? Is it because like there's like a group of people that want their kids unvaccinated? Has that become something that has been more prevalent nowadays? But I remember getting the measles vaccine when I was a child, bro. Like this shouldn't even be a thing anymore. This is just like polio coming back. Oh no, polio's coming back. No, polio's gone, bro. So measles should be gone too. What is going on here, bro?
Consider the severe consequences such as, severe pneumonia, severe ear infections, severe diarrhea, severe brain infections. And these are not so rare of complications as to be ignored. The geography of the cases has been extensive. With the summer coming and people traveling more and people interacting more, it's almost inevitable.
All right, I can't take that guy in his abundance of charisma, and I want to go to the actual news story from NBC News. It's only a minute long, man, and then we up out of here. But I want to just find out more about the CDC issuing new travel warnings as measles cases surge.
Tonight, a new travel warning from the Centers for Disease Control as measles cases surge around the globe. The agency saying if you're traveling abroad, make sure you're vaccinated or consider postponing your trip.
The updated guidelines reflect that this is a global infection.
Cases popping up at airports, even on airplanes. Colorado health officials say 3 people with confirmed cases took a Turkish airline flight to Denver earlier this month. And there were other reported exposures at Newark, Chicago, and Seattle airports, raising alarms from health departments there.
This is the largest measles outbreak we've had since 2019.
Over 1,100 cases have been reported in the U.S. so far this year, according to our NBC News count. Common symptoms include rashes, runny noses, and fevers, which often pose a higher threat to young children and pregnant women.
Measles can be severe no matter what your age. You can have an infection of the lungs, swelling of the brain, known as encephalitis, and unfortunately death.
Measles spreads by someone infected coughing or sneezing.
If you have been exposed and you have been vaccinated, you should still present to a healthcare professional just to make sure that we can monitor you. If you have not had a vaccine, they can actually do what's called post-exposure vaccination.
The CDC says getting vaccinated is the best way to protect yourself. Maya Eaglin, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about
Bruh. Brain swelling is sounds like quite the symptom, guys. So, yeah, I guess this may be a little bit different than COVID, but it sounds very familiar, oddly familiar. A 2-part vaccine. People urging you to get vaccinated. It's affecting travel. Sounds very, very, very similar to COVID. But this differs from COVID. Once you get the vaccine, once you're vaccinated, you don't have to get another vaccine for the rest of your life for measles. And I thought measles was gone. So I guess it's making a comeback. And I don't know, man. I don't know. If y'all really want to get vaccinated like that, man, go ahead. But me, I think I'm gonna be straight, bro. That's gonna be it, guys. I appreciate you guys rolling into the live stream. And if you guys got any questions, any last minute comments, let me know in the chat. The chats are open, man. And all chats will be displayed on screen. And super chats are welcome as well. And yeah, I'll hang out just for a second, man. Hopefully I can get used to doing the news again. I like doing this stuff. It's really cool because I'm really busy outside of like YouTube stuff. and I don't really get time to catch up with stuff like this. And the reason why I do the news every single week, low key, is for my own personal gain, for my own knowledge gain. But again, it's also to give you guys information as well, because I know a lot of people got TikTok brain, bro. They're always on just TikTok scrolling, doom scrolling all day, and they don't pay attention to people's long form content. And a lot of it is very informational, and it could literally save your life, right? They literally just listed all of the symptoms for measles, and you can get post exposure vaccinations if you get exposed to measles. So as long as you guys know that, man, if you get exposed to measles, go ahead and get that vaccine, bro. You'll be straight. But that's going to be it today, guys. I appreciate you guys rolling into the live. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. And you also hit the bell notification to be notified of all of my live streams coming up. And we got the podcast too, guys. So the podcast link is in the description box below. Go and support that. I put the most informational live streams and guest features from the channel on the podcast. And I may be including some that may be podcast exclusive I can't put on YouTube. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe or follow the podcast and you support, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you on Thursday. We got a really good topic to talk about on Thursday. So make sure you pay attention and you're subscribed and you get notified with the bell notification as well. But on your way out, guys, make sure you like the video as well.